me how the second that Fitz posts a new alien video on his TikTok channel, an hour later there was an earthquake in New York City. He's been missing for a week. His channel was deactivated for a month, and all of a sudden comes out of nowhere to post this, and an earthquake happens right after. It's too much of a coincidence. Tell me how the second that Fitz posts a new alien video on his TikTok channel, an hour later there was an earthquake in... Tell me how the second that Fitz...
My guy's phone. Yo. My guy's phone. Yo, are you seeing this? Yo, holy shit. Hold on. Yo. Dude. My guy's phone. My guy's phone. Yo, are you seeing this? Yo, holy shit. My guy's phone. Yo, are you seeing this? Yo, holy shit. Hold on. Dude.
And the closer that you got to the aliens, you notice what?
They were changing shapes. Like, it looked like they were glitching in and out of this reality, but when you look closer at some of the footage, they were also changing shapes. It was crazy.
And the closer that you got to the aliens,
Sir? He's a whistleblower. That's illegal. He's protecting the Whistleblowers Act.
this obviously makes you emotional. Am I right? When should the world expect to see this footage?
So I don't really have a time frame of when, because we're still waiting to see how everything plays out. It's still an ongoing situation at this moment. We're hoping, I would love for it to be released as soon as possible. But these things have to be handled gently, just due to the sensitive nature. But what I can say is that the footage is unsettling. I've just been sharing a lot of like reenactments and stuff that's close to our experience so that people can get an idea. When you see footage like this, it's, everyone thinks that, yeah, it's been normalized in our media, but when you actually see it, it kicks in later. Like it did for me and my brother and my family. It kicked in later for us that we actually like realized, what a footage means. Obviously Hollywood and films, you've seen like depictions of aliens and stuff, but it's not real. When it's real, you see it at first, but it kicks in later. Later that we're not really alone. And different people have interpreted it differently.
And where have you and your family been staying?
We've been staying in different places. Obviously, I'm not going to reveal where we've been staying just for our family safety. And there's going to be a lot of people asking, who we're telling our story to, just to protect like the media and production team. We're not disclosing any of that.
Are you afraid of people coming after you?
Yeah, I definitely am. Because it's actually been a situation where um, people have been trying to sabotage certain things. I don't know who. You could probably assume who it is, but I don't want to upset anyone more than I've already have. But yeah, we are just not disclosing much. We're just trying to keep our lips shut about everything, with regard to anything that could sabotage what we're, us telling our story.
And where have you and your family been staying?
We've been staying in different places. Obviously, I'm not gonna. But most of the people that I actually showed it to were incredibly unsettled. They couldn't sleep after. Uh, I think that people develop some type of post-traumatic stress disorder from it. Um, because it's more like knowing that there is something out there that we can't possibly see or communicate with that could just pop in and out. Um, you almost feel like we are, they're obviously aware of us, but we have not been aware of them. So it kind of gives them that upper hand over our species. And it's just weird knowing that. It is unsettling when you think about it when you're alone. It's very uncomfortable because most people have kind of gone with their daily lives thinking, okay, we're alone. This is just it. Pay our bills. But when you actually know that we're not alone, that's different. Then you're led to more questions about what's out there. What does this all mean? Um, it makes you question your reality. And I think it sets up the situation for you questioning your reality and a possible mass psychosis or something. I could see why, people would be uncertain. So we're working with, a media team to tell our story in the right way, and in a way where we can share the footage, in a safe way. But
A lot of stuff has happened since you released your eyewitness account.
I honestly didn't think that it was going to be paid attention to because there were so many people that were like lying and saying stuff online. And to be honest, there was a lot of people there that night, so not everyone saw the same thing. There was a lot of people that were just running because other people were running, and it was only like a small portion of the market goers that actually saw what happened. It wasn't like everyone. It was, there were people there for sure, but I would not say that everybody saw it. I think that like what was interesting about our story was that the most interesting part is like what happened after. And, you know, even though the incident itself was like scary, I think what terrified me more is just
A lot of stuff has happened since you released your
to each other because we've been, and, you know, even though the incident itself was like scary, I think what terrified me more is just human beings and like what we are capable of to each other because we've been harassed. A lot of stuff has happened to us afterwards that we're gonna release later on and tell everybody exactly what happened.
your apartment was set on fire.
Yeah, we came home one day, there was an explosion, and we saw that our apartment had been set on fire. So since then we've been moving around, but we're in a, just different places at the moment.
And why are you speaking to us now?
Well, I'm speaking now Well, I'm speaking now because I think that it's been some time. We were hoping for the internet hype to go down, because, you know, I think because everything was going viral, it only made everything a little bit more amped up. So I had been slowly waiting for some time to kind of really work with people and give my story. In the time that like everything started, we'd been in touch with various, companies and, media teams to give out our story. And we finally settled, when we were able to. And when it was safe to, we wanted to tell our story to the right people who would make sure that that our account would be taken very sensitively, just due to the nature of, all the harassment and us being sought after. Yeah.
And why are you speaking to us? A lot of witnesses who were there claimed that the police deleted the footage from their phone.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there. That's true. They, people had their phones taken away and video files deleted, us included. But what made our situation a little bit different is that I do have footage, and I didn't take it on a smartphone. And since we've already given some of the footage to the people we gave our story to, a lot of people don't really know me like that, and I get it. But I'm kind of like a 90s guy. And I like collecting retro things from the 90s. Like, for example, I still have a flip phone, like that I carry around on me, pretty often. And, and whenever I go on vacations with my family, I do take a VHS camcorder. And that night, when everyone was getting their phones confiscated and files deleted, nobody noticed that I had a VHS camcorder, like, at all. No one even would suspect someone of having a VHS camcorder. No, they weren't paying attention. And so, yeah, I have the footage here. Yeah, it's a family trip vacation gone.
A lot of witnesses who were there.
Pretty weird.
That's the most important tape in human history.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot, that this could be the most consequential piece of footage in human history. Yeah. Pretty weird.
That's the most important tape in human history.
He's a whistleblower. That's illegal. He's protected under the Whistleblowers Act.
And the closer that you got to the aliens,
my God, the phone. Yo, are you seeing this?
Bro. Everyone's going this way. Yo, what is that?
What the fuck?
so after the explosion, they detained you and took you to the hospital where you would wait for government officials to come by and pick you up. but you managed to somehow escape custody, get your belongings, until suddenly the alarms go off, and you knew it was for you, and you managed to escape safely.
After
Is that
Miami,
correct?
like, it was just the start of a chain of events that people don't know about. And it was a cat and mouse game, basically. And I documented the whole thing. So, along with the footage, we're also going to be telling that story as well. Like, you guys won't believe what happened.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Fitz. I was there at the Bayside Mall with my family, and we all saw exactly what happened. Don't like pay attention to a lot of the videos that are out there. I feel like a lot of people are trying to use this for clout. But what happened, we all saw what happened, and it's pretty serious. It's been a few days, but our whole family's processing it. But I think we've kind of like accepted that we were a part of this weird experience and moment. So basically what happened was I was there with my brother Brian, my sister, and my nephew. We were looking for shoes for my nephew. And then we see a whole crowd of people outside the store just running out in a direction. So, as soon as we saw it, we were like, oh shit, what's going on? So we immediately ran out with our nephew. And we picked him up and we ran out and we followed the crowd. And then about like a few seconds later, as soon as we started running, my nephew, he's autistic, so he was pointing behind us and he was saying blankie, which he'll usually say whenever he feels unsafe or scared. And he was pointing behind us. So me and my brother, we look behind us, and then we see these 3 9-10 foot tall creatures. I'm not gonna say aliens. Everyone keeps saying it's aliens. I'm not saying aliens because I don't know what it was. None of us really knew everyone. All of us stopped in our track. We, a whole bunch of people were pointing at it. There were other people running. There was a crowd. As soon as it made itself more apparent, it looked like it was glitching. Not like a computer pixelation, but like a wavy glitch. And whatever maybe was covering them had, unveiled or whatever. It looked like a glitch, man. It like a weird glitch in the Matrix or whatever. And then you could see it in its full form, all 3 of them. And then, they were all black. You saw eyes, and you could faintly see like lips. But, I was about like 20 feet away, because obviously everybody gave it distance, right? And, they're tall. So we all just like looked at them. They were just standing there. And the thing that was a little bit weird, it was clearly like observing us. It was sentient, right? Like, or whatever. I don't know. But it was aware of us. It looked at us, the whole crowd. And then as soon as it started walking with its big legs, like kind of like it started like almost glitching again, we all ran. My brother like immediately said, yo, let's go. He grabbed me by the shoulder. We bolted out of there. And for anyone that's like saying, where's the footage? Yeah, I know. I don't have any footage, and I'll explain why. Because like when I saw it, I was in complete fear. It was something that I completely froze, man. I don't care if I sound like a bitch about it. Like, I froze. And I don't care who you are. I feel like when you're seeing something paranormal, it's different than when you're seeing a fight. Yeah, you'll probably want to record that and put it on WorldStar or whatever. When you see something paranormal, that's different. Because your reality, you can't comprehend what you're seeing. A fight, you kind of get it. 2 people are fighting. You can comprehend that. Something like this, none of us could comprehend. Your first instinct is like, it ain't to like take out your phone and start recording. Your first instinct is like, I've never seen this before. What is this? Is it gonna hurt me or my family? That was my first number 1 priority. So if you don't believe me, I get it. You know, it's fine. Like, it is silly. I'm sure that someone had footage from that night. If you did, please contact me just so like, you know, we actually have it. So anyways, as soon as the creature started moving, we all just jetted out there. We ran out the front doors. And, you know, obviously, like, we see a whole sea of cop cars, mad cop cars, where other ones were coming in. And we ran with our nephew, and then, you know, a cop stopped us. You know, they took us to a bit of a safer area behind the cars. And they asked us what we saw. And we told them what we saw. You know, they wrote it down, and they asked everybody to check their phones. Not everybody, because there was mad people like running away too, right? They couldn't get everyone. So I'm wondering if someone's gonna post a video. But yeah, they looked through everyone's phone. I didn't record anything, so I was fine. None of us recorded anything, so we were basically free to go. But in the distance, you could still see, like, you know, I didn't see the beings come out the door, right? But you could see on the side of the building, kind of like that clip that everyone's seeing, that it was slowly walking. And it was like, it wasn't cloaking or glitching or whatever. It was walking. So I don't know if it seemed more like it was an interdimensional thing. Someone's coming into our dimension or whatever, a bunch of them. And I think, you know, that it was just interesting, the police response, because it was a whole bunch of them. This ain't for no teenagers. No, this was for something way bigger. And it almost seemed like the cops had like an already made strategy for it, because they surrounded one of the beings with like all their police cars. They blared it up even louder because you could hear that it was louder. Maybe as an attempt to like distract it or let it know like, hey, you don't belong here, right? And you know, they were trying to like slowly move alongside with it. But I didn't see anything else after that, because me and my family, we got out of there. We went into our car, we went home, because you know, we had our nephew with us, and we went to make sure, like, you know, he was okay. So I'm still kind of like processing everything. Like, it's weird, but at the same time, I'm glad that we weren't alone in seeing it, because like it was a whole bunch of us that saw it. And it feels kind of like, you know, you're part of something like really big, but at the same time, it's confusing, because like you want to kind of like show people. Like, I wish I took a video, man, like, because people are gonna probably think I'm crazy, right? But yeah, I'm left with more questions. Like, we were all kind of left with more questions than anything else. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's aliens. I know everybody's saying it's aliens. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I saw something come in through like a weird glitchy, maybe a portal or whatever. And it was like they were pretty tall. You could see some facial. They were very dark, like and shiny, but I can't tell if it was like a wet shiny or like a metallic shiny. And yeah, and you know, long limbs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, long limbs, long fingers. They were definitely humanoid in shape, and shadowy. But that maybe that shadowiness was like from a glitch or whatever, like whatever cloaking maybe they had like fell off. But yeah, it felt like something was coming into our world or whatever, like a fucking Stranger Things episode. But it was crazy, man. Like, I do wish that we took video. Obviously I was scared, bro. Like, we were all scared. Like, it's different when you see it in real life. I doubt that we're gonna see anything like that ever again. I think it was like it feels like it was just like a momentary glitch, or like, oh, they showed up and maybe they're not gonna pop in again. But I'm not gonna go back to Bayside Mall. That whole incident like freaked us out, you know. And, you know, hit me up if you were there, if you got video. Just because, like, I feel like we should all talk about it. Like, I feel like the people that were there should all communicate and talk about what happened. Because, you know, anyone that wasn't there, like, you wouldn't get it. It's not an experience that's explainable in a video. Like, it was very much like a unique, once in a lifetime moment of absolute fear and terror and wonder, and there's so many feelings that you have in that moment in time, and it all kind of like happened so fast, like a blur. I need to process this. Like, we all need to process